Just a reminder for all the media joining us virtually today, please press the raise hand button if you have a question. We'll take our first question from the line of Steve Jewin. Steve, your line is now live.
Thank you. And Champ, thank you for the time today. It's always good to talk to you. Now, the last person who went up from welterweight to face Gegard Mousasi, well, things didn't work out too well for Rory McDonald. So what did you learn from his fight, and what will you do differently?
Yeah, that didn't go too good for him, of course. But no, I think I'm a different fighter. I'm a little bit bigger than him as well. And I don't know, Rory just wasn't himself that night, so I can't really count on that fight. Of course, Mousasi looked amazing. He did what he had to do. He hurt him early, with those jabs. And I don't know, I think Rory just felt, how the weight, the power of him. But I feel pretty good. I'm a different fighter than him for sure, different styles. And definitely going to be a different story with me. I don't know, I'm feeling good right now, at this middleweight. Do this weight cut tonight and see how I'm feeling fight time. But everything went good. Training camp has been amazing. Feel really strong, feel ready to go, and feel ready to get this belt.
And speaking of your training camp, how has it changed during the pandemic era? What have you had to change?
It just wasn't, as many people as it was before, but we always kept training. My brother was in there in camp, Jucão, a bunch of my training partners. It was, wasn't a lot of quantity, but it was a lot of quality. We had maybe 4 or 5 guys, in training camp when everything shut down. But we always kept training, you know what I mean? Did a lot of strength and conditioning as well, trying to get the strength a little higher for this fight. No complaints, man. Even though, everything was shut down, we kept working, I opened a gym, during this time. So I can't complain about anything. Everything has been good.
Our next question comes from the line of Donna Corby. Donna, go ahead.
Hey, Douglas, how's it going? I wanted to ask about MVP. He's been calling you out ever since you fought him, and you've made some sort of thinly veiled responses. But I want to give you the opportunity to reply to what you've heard from Michael Venom Page over the last year.
Fight contenders. I'm a champion. I'm here to fight contenders. If you want a shot at me, go fight guys that that's gonna put you next in in line for a title shot. You know what I mean? It's been doing good. He's been winning his fights. I just I need to fight contender. You know what I mean? You can't fight people that has less than 5 fights and ask for a title fight. No disrespect to anybody. No disrespect to him as well. But if you want to fight the champion, man, you got to fight fights that get you there. You know what I mean? It's not just talk. You know what I mean? You gotta fight contenders. That's what I've been doing my whole career. Every time I lost the belt, I fought the number 1 guy next in line for it. You know what I mean? I had to go through a tournament to get my belt the last time around. So you know what you do. If you're ready, if Bellator says you're ready, I'm here. I'm here for whoever's next. But like I said, I'm a champion and I fight contenders.
Also, a lot of fighters have found when they have 2 belts, making the weight cut down to the lower weight class where they have the belt is always a little bit more difficult. Do you plan on leaving the welterweight division, or are you going to find it relatively easy to jump between the 2?
No, I don't think. No, I'm not leaving the welterweight division. That's my weight class. I think there's a lot more fights for me to do there. But let's see how it feels. Thursday night. Right now everything feels great. But I'm still the same weight. That I am when I fight at 170. I usually walk around at 200 pounds. For middleweight, cut 15 pounds. Welterweight, suffer a little more, but I can make the weight no problem. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I want to fight on both divisions. I want to win this belt. My goal is to get this belt Thursday and defend both. Defend both belts, stay busy. You know what I mean? Get as many fights as I can. Enjoy my prime time. I feel healthy. I feel good. I just want to stay busy as much as I can.
Giancarlo?
Hi, Douglas. You're just talking about the weight cut, and now fighting at this kind of division at middleweight, do you think that Gegard Mousasi, a similar guy who's had to cut weight from light heavyweight before, have you seen something in his game that you'll be able to exploit in his last performances?
No, man, Mousasi he's a complete fighter. He's good everywhere. He's a great striker. He's a good wrestler. He's really good on the ground. So we just got to find the right timing, connect a good punch, and be ready to fight 5 rounds. I know it's going to be a hard fight. He's going to be ready to fight everywhere. Same with me. I've done what I could, with this training camp. I train hard. I pay my dues in the gym, and I'm ready to fight him. I know he's good. He's probably going to be, a little bit bigger than myself, but it is what it is. It's challenges, man. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. That's what I'm coming into this fight, thinking about. Because, man, it's he's a gamer. He's been in the sport for a long time. He fought the who's and who, fought heavyweight, light heavyweight. So I know it's a tough challenge, and that's why I wanted, this type of fight, So especially, with the belt on the line, this is huge. This is a super fight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And final one for me, you've been a who's who in the Bellator welterweight division. Do you think the Bellator division, especially welterweight, gets the respect that it deserves compared to when people talk about the UFC?
I mean, if you understand the sport, you know it does. A bunch of killers, a bunch of up-and-comers, welterweight division is stacked in Bellator. People know that, man. People know that. The top 10, top 7, there's a lot of good guys. And the ex-UFC fighters as well, guys that's been on top over there. So everybody knows that we got a deep division and definitely can compete with anybody in the world.
Santiago?
Hi, Douglas. Is your brother going to be in your corner?
For sure. He's always here with me. You know what I mean? He's about to cook my meal, for post weigh-in. He's my main training partner as always. He's here for sure.
I love him. He's the best, man. Hey, your takedown defense against Rory was stunning to see. Really high level. Do you think Gegard wants to take this to the mat?
Definitely. He said it himself. He wants to wrestle me as well. I don't know if it's because he's bigger or he wants to put more weight on top of me, but he said he's going to wrestle me. So I prepare. I prepare for the wrestling, I prepare for the striking, and pretty much, ready for everything. Because like I said, Mousasi is a complete fighter. He's good everywhere. So I'm sure he's going to try to fight this fight, wherever, like on every aspect of fighting. He wants to strike me, wrestle me. He pretty much want to mix everything up. That's what I feel from him. And we're ready for it. What I mean? We're prepared. We've been training for this for like a whole year. So I'll be ready for sure.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Damon Martin.
Hey, Douglas, you mentioned after this, you're obviously more than willing to go back to welterweight, but we have seen Bellator allowing guys hold 2 titles and defend 2 titles, but it has been difficult. We saw with Ryan Bader. He went back down to light heavyweight, and he talked about how difficult it was, and obviously he didn't have his best night against Nemkov. Are you confident in being a 2-division champion, or you look at this as saying, I want to win middleweight and then, focus back on welterweight? Like, where's your head at after this fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It'll definitely be harder, to make welterweight, but that's something that's been hard my whole career. There are times where I thought, man, I can't do this. I don't know if I'm gonna make weight this time, but I always do it. It's my job. It's part of the job, and I'm walking around the same as I do for welterweight. So I don't think it'll be that much more difficult because I didn't. Maybe I had 3-4 pounds, during training camp, but I didn't get that much bigger that would be impossible for me to make welterweight again, But I can, give me 8 weeks, I can comfortably make 170 again, make 185 whenever I want to because, it's a lot easier. But first, I want to see how this feels at middleweight. I can't wait. I'm fighting one of the big guys, at middleweight. A guy that's fought, higher weight classes before. So, this is a perfect fight for me to see, where I stand as far as power, when it comes to middleweight. Because, guys definitely going to be bigger and stronger. But, I feel good. I feel good about it. Middleweight, something that I thought of doing my whole career. I did it last time, it was 10 years ago. I won 3 fights at middleweight. I won a tournament. And, ready to keep this going. Definitely fight at both weight classes.
Last one, Douglas, you know, we've seen a lot lately. I mean, you've throughout your career, you've had to, I won't say defend yourself, but you've, you know, touted yourself as the best welterweight in the sport, even when compared to the UFC guys. And I know it's kind of a pointless argument because you're not in the UFC and the UFC guys aren't coming to Bellator, but becoming a 2-division champion is so rare. It's such a rare thing we've seen in this sport. Do things like pound for pound rankings, does that matter to you? Would you like that kind of consideration if everything goes well on Thursday night? Because you've been such a long reigning welterweight champion. Adding on middleweight, I mean, there's only a handful of guys who've ever done that.
Yeah, definitely. Super important for me, and definitely want my name on the pound for pound list, you know, after this win. You know, I've said it, I even said that before, you know, this is a legacy fight, man. It's a super fight, you know what I mean? Being a welterweight forever, you know, I fought the who's in who, whoever came to Bellator, I fought them, you know, got wins, you know, against good guys, and definitely think I belong in the pound for pound list, but I got to prove it, you know, with this fight Thursday night. You know, it is important for me. You know, sometimes, you know, rankings doesn't really matter, but it's just good to see, you know, good to see your name up there because, you know, the work that I've been doing this whole time, and I've been fighting for 17 years already, I think, you know. So it's been a while, man. It's been a while, and it's important when people recognize what you're doing. But, you know, I'm not losing sleep over it, you know what I mean? I know where I stand. I know I can beat any welterweight in the world, you know what I mean? Middleweight as well. So, you know, I feel good, man. I feel good. And this win, you know, this fight would definitely put me up there, you know, in the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? It's important.
We'll take a couple more here. Ben, go ahead.
Hi, Douglas. You mentioned before about Mousasi's bigger size and how that may have played a factor in the Rory McDonald fight. And I'm just wondering if there's anything other than his size, any specific weapons he has that you think will pose a challenge to you.
Yeah, I mean, everything he does, man. He's a good striker. You know, his jab is good. His right hand is good. You know, his ground and pound is really solid. So, man, I got to be ready for everything. You know what I mean? I got to be on top of my game in this fight. You know what I mean? I got to be ready at all times, at every second. And so does he, you know what I mean? So it's a dangerous fight for both of us. You know, I can finish the fight in any second. He can do as well. He can do the same thing. And I just got to be ready. Just got to make sure I'm on top of my game. And I feel like that, man. I feel good. I had a great training camp. I did everything that I could, and I feel really good about it. I feel really good about this fight. You know, it's a type of fight that I've been wanting for a while, you know, against such a game opponent like him. You know, all my respect, but I can't wait to perform against him, man, on Thursday night. And I feel really good. You know, I got to, you know, like I said, be on top of my game.
Our last question comes from the line of Chris DeSantiago. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Douglas. Thanks for the time today.
Of course.
So would you consider Mousasi your biggest opponent today? Do you think he's your biggest challenge, or do you think that lies with somebody like Rory McDonald?
I mean, I think every next fight, you know, every fight that I'm about to fight, I think that's my biggest. I definitely look at it like that. But Mousasi is no different. He definitely is because, like I said, he fought the who's and who's. He fought in bigger weight classes before. And, you know, he fought in, 3 weight classes above mine, you know what I mean? Just for me to go up, you know, and fight a guy like that, it's important. And, you know, I definitely feel he's the best that I've fought so far. You know what I mean? And I took it serious, man. I took this very serious. I trained really hard. You know, it's a dangerous fight, of course, you know, for me, for him. And there's a lot on the line, man. This welterweight, this middleweight title is super important for me. You know what I mean? It's definitely, you know, it's for legacy. You know what I mean? That's what I want to leave behind, you know, a guy that fights whoever's next in line. You know what I mean? And super important, man. I know he's tough. I know he's been around with the best, but I believe in myself. I believe in my coaches. I believe in my training. And I did everything, man. I did everything, and I'm ready to go Thursday night.
Great. Thank you so much for the time, Douglas. Good luck the rest of the week.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.